Welcome back. So we just talked about how LLMs are essentially word guessing machines. Let's actually see what this looks like in action by hopping into the OpenAI playground. Now, I'm going to change a few settings here and we'll show you so that you're going to be able to change these settings and play around with it yourself if you want to as well. First of all, I'm going to go to mode and change this to complete. This changes the model so that it's focused on generating a completion to my prompt rather than a response. Then I'm going to go down here to show probabilities. I'm going to turn this on and change it to full spectrum. And then lastly, I'm going to go to this temperature setting. This temperature setting is something that we will talk about a bit later on in the course. For now, all you need to know is that this controls the randomness. So right now it's set to 1, so it's going to have middle of the road randomness. If you go all the way up to 2, that's going to be a lot of randomness. If you go all the way down to 0, it's going to be minimal randomness. Okay, now that we've got that all set up, let's input our prompt. I'm excited to learn. And there you go. It's completed my prompt by saying, I'm excited to learn more about the world of web development. Now, here's where it's really cool. When you click on these words, it's actually showing you the probability that each token is going to follow the previous token. So you can see here, I'm excited to learn, and it says the token more is 18.12% likely to follow those previous tokens. It could have selected other words, about, or \n, which is a new line, or how, or All of these had lower probabilities though, and we've put the randomness, remember, the temperature, down to 0. So what does that mean? It means it should be selecting the most probable token in each spot. And look at that, it does. Each token here is at the top of the list. How cool is that? Now, let's play with the randomness. Let's move the temperature up to 1. And then we're going to delete the completion here, go back to the original prompt, and hit submit. Okay, now you can see just by the color coding, there's some more red in here. That's more randomness. And so you can see the completion is a bit different as well. It's saying, I'm excited to learn, whereas before it said more about web development. Now it says all the things I don't know about web development. Let's go into the probabilities here. Look at that. It chose quite a random one. Very far down the list. It chose more originally up at the top here, but it's now chosen one way down the list. Here we go. This chose the second probability and a third. How interesting is that? Now, the cool thing is that even though there's some randomness here, this completely still makes sense, right? You can read it, and it says, I'm excited to learn all the things I don't know about web development. That's great to hear. Web development is an incredibly rewarding field that is constantly changing and evolving. It still makes sense. Some randomness is useful. And you can see this too if we change the temperature even further and make it even more random, up to 1.5. Let's delete the completion again, submit the original prompt. I'm excited to learn this language. And it says, that's wonderful. Language is one of the most enjoyable and stimulating pursuits. Now, this is starting to not make much sense, right? I'm not sure what it's referring to here when it says this language. So eventually the randomness can create issues. And you can actually see that if we go all the way up to the max randomness. And hit submit. So here we go. There's a lot of red here, which means a lot of randomness. And you can see it doesn't even make sense anymore. So it shows, first of all, after I prompted it with, I'm excited to learn, the word that it shows is Rex. RE is the actual token here, which only had a 0.01% chance of being the next token. But that's what it selected because I wanted the randomness. Now, XX is its own token. And again, super low probability. Java, you can see if you go just like the others, for the most part, It's choosing tokens that are near the bottom or at the very bottom of the probability. How cool is that? I absolutely love seeing these probabilities because this really allows you to see these word guessing machines working in action. Now, you probably noticed there, as we added more randomness, it became more casual, more conversational. When it was 0 temperature, it's very formalistic. When it got higher, it became a more casual conversational tone. When it got too high, it became far too conversational. It became essentially gibberish. So that's something to keep in mind. But it's super interesting to see these models in action and how they're making these decisions. I'll see you in the next lesson.